Okay, so I'm just going to do a walkthrough of how I'm editing my pre-Halloween photos. Obviously, it's really good to shoot on the day, but then if you shoot beforehand, you've got a stack of images where you can either upload them in the days leading up to an event, or you can upload them, all in one day. My idea was pretty much just have one photo. I didn't intend to get more than one, really. But at the end of the shoot, I was led down on the floor in my living room on top of my black background, as you can see here. And I picked my phone up to take a photo, and I found these highlights here, and this is from the TV, and this is from a little lamp. And I loved it. I think it reminds me personally of this, by the way, is my attempt at doing Joker makeup. I didn't have any white. We scoured the house for white makeup, and it was by this time 11 p.m. So we didn't have any white, so I couldn't do the full thing. But then I found a picture that some girl had done on Pinterest, and I actually quite liked it because it's more. I'd like to think this is more kind of guy just grabs makeup and shoves it on and just is whatever, it's kind of using what you've got to hand. It's not some sort of, it's not like an actual persona as of yet at this point in this mad person's career, villainous career. It's just kind of like, oh, I had some lipstick, or maybe even because the way it comes out edited, it kind of looks a bit wet and kind of bloody. But yeah, so it's kind of, I quite like it. So I guess we'll get started. First off, I'm going to get rid of this. I hate this editing screen like this because you can't move the picture around anywhere, so on a Mac just press F, but I think it works on Windows too. So I already have all of this set up here, yeah, so Joker 1 dark, but I can run through what they are. So copy, that's basically just copied it. So from this one I just pressed Command and J, and obviously that created this, and then from there I can turn these off. So from there I did exposure and some curves, levels, second levels and third levels, and I think those last two are supposed to come after I've put some grain on it, but we'll leave them there for now. Yeah, you can see just how dark this photo actually is compared to what it's going to come out looking like. So I'm going to get rid of those two, because first off what I need to do is I need to do a bit of liquefying. Generally speaking, the first thing that I would do is always get rid of any sort of blemishes and stuff, but I actually am not doing too badly this week. And not only that, but I think that's kind of a hair, a rogue hair. It kind of suits because it's supposed to be quite raw, and I actually think that these photos are the rawest unedited version of me that I've put up on any sort of social media that's not like Snapchat stuff in years, since I got Photoshop or have been able to teach myself Photoshop, because there's no need to do anything, because the Joker's kind of a raw kind of character. Again, I just want to reiterate that I'm not going for Heath Ledger's look. I'd love to be able to pull that off, but it's yeah, not it's not what this is. So yeah, so from here I'm also editing on a Wacom Bamboo Pen and Touch. I got it about 3 years ago and I love it. I've got one of the buttons set up so that it does, I can't think what it's called, it basically clips everything that it sees so it turns it into one photo, because if I try doing liquefy like I'm doing now, on the original photo it would be way too dark and I wouldn't be able to see what I was doing. So from here just gonna you can see how dark this was. Like when I shot it, it was absolutely, we're talking very, 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 very diffused light. Yeah, so if you can hear, but there goes the house phone. So I'm just gonna push this up a little bit and over to one side. I had to change these settings. This before was on about 30 to 50. I can't remember what it was. Size obviously is whatever. Density, I'm not entirely sure what that does. Look at that. That's kind of, I get, this isn't, I'm not trying to push it to, I'm not going for Jack Nicholson-esque. I'm going for stretched reality. I'm just, yeah, basically just pulling and dragging. If you've never used the Lookify tool before, kind of look a bit dead actually, which kind of suits. Just take that down. There we go. Magic. And there we have it. Just a little bit crazier. Now, let's have a look. Some of these bits here, in some of the other photos, I haven't really been able to get away with, but I kind of think that for this, that looks alright. That's not too bad. Yeah, okay, so I think I'm done with the liquefying. I think my favourite bit, actually, of this particular bit is this here, which obviously is just a line on my face. But then when you move it, it turns into a circle, which just gives an even better added effect. Right, there is one thing that I was thinking about. Yes, that's it. No, I guess it kind of makes sense. Just looking at this bit here. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that works. Okay, so where do we go from here? Well, we're going to copy that layer so we don't get rid of it. Is it going to show up? Yes? No? Right, just get rid of that. There we go, magic. Yeah, we're going to copy that layer so we don't lose it. Next thing we're going to do is put those on now. Right, so I also had, for the other set of photos, the ones I originally took, and again, because these ones were afterwards, I had a first lot which was a totally different lighting setup. Now, because it was a totally different lighting setup, it means that I'd done the colours differently, so selective colouring, I'd done all of that differently and stuff. But I found last night that when I mixed it all together, and ignored this current effect, it actually worked considerably well. Right, and first off I'm going to get rid of these into a folder. It's just minimises all of the junk in here. So I think I left those on. Leave that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. I think with this one. There we go, see. Let's get rid of this. Don't need that one, but I quite like that one. Right, so from here, we're going to, again, take a snippet of all of those. So it's just gonna, that's it, merging them. It's merging them all together. Alright, so there's our layer. Again, I'm just going to go down, take all of these, put them into a box. Put them into a box. Alright, that's quite creepy. Oops. Right, so here's what we have so far. So what we're going to do is we're going to put high pass on this layer. I've already got that set up as saying Command and H, but high pass, you go into the filter. I'll show you in a minute. I'll just do this. So that's kind of probably a bit too much. 5, 4, 3. Try 4 for now. Right, so basically to get high pass, you go to filter, then down to other, then high pass is there, and it turns it grey obviously, and then you can select bits of the box to see as high pass. Basically what high pass is, it makes things sharper. So if we just toggle it off and on, so there's the high pass layer, off and on, and what we're going to do is after we put the high pass layer, we make another merged layer. Right, we've got our merged layer of all the ones underneath. So from here what we're going to do is we're just going to do a few initial highlights. Just a bit bigger than that. I'm not going to do it just yet. I'm just going to show you where we're going to go for. This bit here, this blue here, oops. This part of the lips here. Maybe this side of the face, obviously the eyes. Just pull out things that are hopefully going to draw your eye in. Just lightly in 41% exposure. Generally speaking, I'll have it set to 30, but this has been working fine. So why not? Just gonna give the hint of an eyeline. I actually, a lot of people might not like how grainy this photo is, but I actually love it, and we're going to make it even better, or even more grainy, shall we say. Just drag that across. What I will do is, because I should have copied that layer, so I'm just going to make another merged version of the stuff underneath so that I can go back between the two, so show what I've done. Magic. There you go. So after it's just slight Again, there's here, 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 and here. Oops, wrong one. It's just going to drag a bit of attention. We're just going to do that for now. So from there, this is the edited one. So we're going to copy that and then put a grain on it. Now I've got grain set up as Command and G. This is the bit that's important. This is the bit that you need, because even if you do have film grain selected, which I think is the generic one for it to always come up with, you need to be able to control it with these. So let's have a look at the effects that they're having. So this is nothing. So there's nothing. And I've had it set to the second one. Right, highlight area. Haven't had it on anything. Doesn't seem to do anything in this with these particular photos. And this one just gives it that. I wonder. Right, I'm going to go for 2 and then 3. Now, on the rest of them, I've put 3. I've put 2 and 2. But I actually quite like the way that this one looks. So, yeah. Press OK and OK, or Enter and Enter, sorry. And we have our extra grain added. So we're going to Control and J that, copy that layer, and then again, just go back to where we highlighted just to see if we can kick them a bit more. Gives a bit of a kick. I was trying to think where that quote's from then, but it's Willy Wonka, I just realised. When he puts the sock into... Can't think what he puts it into. Puts the sock into one of his things anyway, I think it's a sock. Or an old jumper, something like that. Okay, so we're nearly done. From here, we're going to go to Levels. Now the hardest part when it gets to this is that what you see on your screen, unless you've got one of the, I think it's called a spider calibration device, that's the one. Unless you've got one of those spider calibration devices that you put on your screen and it reads how your screen's outputting. But they cost £50. The hardest part is judging how it's going to look on other screens. Now it's going to look differently on other Mac users' screens. It's going to look different on phones, Windows, Android, iPhone, iPad screens. Then you've got all the Windows devices, and that ranges from either being really, really blown out or too dark. Someone's commented on one of my photos before and said, oh, this looks really dark, and it looked perfectly fine on my screen, and it's because they just don't talk to each other very well. You'd think nowadays we'd have some sort of like general thumb of this is how the world's going to work and this is how it should be, and USB devices should talk to each other and stuff, but that's not how it works, sadly. But I think, actually, because I've done a few of these now, I think I've kind of got this down to a T. So on my screen right now, it kind of looks pretty perfect, and this eye is pretty much gone, but you can still see the eye itself. And because this is a Joker as well, it's pretty dark anyway. I can give you the settings for this, but obviously that would kind of be useless because you won't have the same light setup anyway. But I think it was shot at something like a 60th of a second with an ISO of 12 or 1600. And the white balance was on automatic, I think, because I kind of like the fact that one side was red and one side was blue. For me, personally, it reminds me of the scene where the Joker in the newest Batman film that he's in, The Dark Knight Rises, I think. Or is it just The Dark Knight? Anyway, he's in the back of the back of the police car, and he's got his head out the window, and you can see all the lights on his, highlighted his face and stuff, and that's what this reminds me of. Even though I'm let down in my front room. Yeah, this was taken on a 7D, and I can't believe the amount of detail you can pull out of it. So yeah, so I think that is us done. I'll just add a curves just to see if that does anything. Oof, too far. Oh, that might be okay though. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, so if you watched all the way to the end, thank you very much. Feel free to leave a comment inviting me to come and see something that maybe you've done of a similar nature. Feel free to have a go. Basically for the makeup, all I did was we had some black makeup thing. It wasn't actually black, it was brown, which, if I'm honest with you, didn't look very good in normal lighting, but obviously once you've edited it and stuff, you can't really tell that it's brown. Yeah, and the red is just lipstick. I come from a dancing background, so we have literally a makeup box with tens of hundreds of lipsticks in, and all the rest of the stuff. And I think I'm going to retry it with the white, but for now I really quite like the effect that this has had. So yeah, I hope that you like it, and I'll hopefully be doing more soon. Thanks for watching.